Hi, welcome in. Thanks for joining me here today. This is Lighthouse Tapestry, and I'm Wendy, and this is your daily thread. So before we get started, I want to welcome in anybody who's new to the channel. Make sure you check out our daily videos. We have a live every week. We had the lives on Thursday, but we're going to be switching to Wednesday nights. So it's going to be Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern is when our lives are going to be taking place. If you come into the live, usually in the second half, we do pull cards for people who have joined us. So if you put a heart in the chat in the live, then we'll know that you'd like us to pull a card or a rune if Ron's with us. So just make sure that you are aware of that. This message that I'm doing today, I asked for advice from Spirit for the collective for whatever wanted to come through. And if the message resonates for you, then it's definitely for you. And if it doesn't quite resonate, then that message might be for somebody else. But if you know who that person is, please feel free to share this video so that they can hear this message as well. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to tell you the decks I'm using today. This is Alice the Wonderland deck is going to be the first card that I pull. It's going to be from that deck. And then I've got the Poe Tarot here for some of the tarot cards that I pulled. I thought, with the thinning of the veil and, in October, this felt like I got really drawn to pulling this deck out. It's fun. And then we have the Cosmic Journey Oracle. So the very last card I pulled will be from this deck here. So let's go ahead and see what the first card is. It is follow your own good advice. So trust yourself. You know what's best for you. Okay, so that is a 10 card that takes you down to a 1. So that is like that magician energy. This is all about you and kind of being maybe in your head a bit and second guessing yourself, right? I'm going to go ahead and read a little excerpt from their book. And it says, anytime you make an error, it can be helpful to grieve a little for the difficulty you have created. But once you have done this, continuing with the sadness serves no real purpose. It is best to follow Alice's example, cry, then stop, and follow your own good advice and your own good sense. Receiving this card means you know what you need to do. You need to clear, ground, and center yourself so you can contemplate what to do next. This card also says that you do know what is best for you and often give yourself excellent advice, but maybe you don't often follow it. I think we've all been there. You are being gently advised to settle yourself emotionally, to think through a problem, to stop admonishing yourself, and to follow your good advice to yourself. Perhaps treating yourself like a close friend or a dear child will help you to move calmly forward without criticizing yourself too harshly for the situation you currently find yourself in. You can change this if you follow your own very good sense. So that's, absolutely true. We tend to, especially for those of you who are empaths, kind of beat ourselves up over things. And it really doesn't help us to kind of just sit in that and dwell, but you absolutely have every right to kind of grieve it and mourn it a little bit. But once you're done, then, you need to kind of get back in action. And you really, really need to trust yourself. Really try not to second guess things. You are having these thoughts, feelings, ideas absolutely for a reason. And even if you feel like maybe you took a wrong turn somewhere, there's always a next step that's going to take you possibly away from this situation and carry you forward, right? So looking at moving forward, we want to have the 7 of Candles. So the 7 of Candles, candles would be wands in other decks. That is, taking a stand. And maybe like drawing your line in the sand sort of a thing where you're just like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. And it's really being you your authentic self, being true to yourself. It's very much rising above and having self-confidence, right? Standing in your truth, being assertive, right? So don't be afraid to, really state your truth and to live in that and have those boundaries. Remember, we've been talking about boundaries. This is very much about setting those healthy boundaries and really sticking with it. Okay. So you really need to think about what is the best move for you moving forward and set those boundaries and be very firm in holding those boundaries, which sometimes people struggle with setting the boundaries in the first place. But what I have found is I can oftentimes set the boundary, but really holding it and keeping that boundary, that it kind of tests you, right? That can sometimes be the more difficult thing. So if you need to constantly remind yourself, then do it. Remind yourself you need to have that boundary. You need to set that boundary because it is for your own good, right? Your own greatest and highest good to have those boundaries in place. That helps you to protect yourself. That helps you to remain authentic to yourself and to stand in your truth, right? Very good. All right. So the next call of action is Night of Candles. And so with the Night of Candles, that is saying you are going to be following through. So that is holding those boundaries in place, right? It can be kind of charging ahead. It's taking action. It's creating change, right? Perhaps having an important encounter. Maybe someone will come in to kind of help you and help to guide you in this, or help kind of like lift you up or help you feel empowered enough to do this, right? Sometimes it helps just to have that support a little bit to really get us motivated to move and to make that move and to keep it going and to have that follow through, right? Sometimes we have to check ourselves to make sure that we are keeping up with that, we are following through. Okay, so then what you might not see coming is the 10 of Paws. And here, Paws are like pentacles, what pentacles would be in another deck. So, and I love the quote on this too. It says, "It is a happiness to wonder. It is a happiness to dream." So this brings in that kind of prosperity and security and good investments and returns, happiness, your legacy. So in doing this for yourself, in, kind of turning things around. So if you find yourself in like you feel like things aren't going well and you're not in a good situation, you need, you start to trust yourself. You recognize that you know what you need. You're standing up for yourself. You're putting up those boundaries. You're following through with those boundaries. This is all going to lead to bringing in exactly what you've been wanting. That's how you work towards having that stability, having that abundance come in. This is your chance to kind of create that and to make it happen. Okay. We've been talking about that a lot in previous videos leading up to today, with that full moon that we had, the full moon ritual that we did. Even in the last live that we did, we mentioned these things like letting go of things, switching your perspective, really making sure that you are taking care of yourself. You're setting those healthy boundaries in order to be able to move forward, right? And we have the new moon in Libra coming too, which is all about relationships, right? So if you are having to kind of take a stand in how, either in the relationship you're in now or how you want to be in relationship, now is the time to be setting those boundaries, making those changes, right? Okay, so our final advice from Spirit is, how can this be a wonderful win-win-win? And I'll go ahead and read from this, but let's see. Okay, So in the situation that you're in, there's a solution that can truly help you. Your community, our planet, your venture, everyone. Yet something holds you back. Do you even really need to be persuaded and influenced to do what's better for you and the world? Perhaps there is a deep-seated belief that you don't deserve. Do you worry that any act that benefits you must be selfish and thus an evil scheme? Know that there is a path that leads to your win-win-win. Your evil scheme is one for global good. So what's possible? Anything, if you can imagine it. And I love that it's kind of ending on that note and kind of wrapping up that, yeah, whatever situation you're in, you can change it and you absolutely deserve to do so. It is not selfish to do things for your greatest and highest good. It's self-care. It's taking care of yourself, okay? Self-care is not selfish. So if you are having any qualms or feeling any guilt about doing things for yourself that will help you to basically live a better life, and therefore, when you raise up your vibration in that way and you raise up your energy, that spreads all around you. And so that does help everyone and everything around you, because then it brings that energy up as well, right? So don't be afraid to take care of yourself, take that stand, make those boundaries. This has been really a crucial time energy-wise to be making these changes. We had the 1010 portal yesterday, which is like the destiny portal. So you really want to be thinking about what you want to manifest, what you want to have come in, really releasing anything that's not serving you anymore to create space and hold space, right, for those things that want to come in. And part of shedding those things is setting those boundaries, standing up for yourself, drawing that line in the sand, setting those healthy boundaries and maintaining them. And in doing that, you're on your way, honey. You are on your way. Okay, I hope that message resonated. Please share, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. We're trying to build this community. We could really use your help in having this community grow. And we love that you guys are here and that you are joining us today. Please be sure to catch us on our live Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to join us then. Make sure you put that heart in the chat. And I wish you all just an absolutely lovely weekend. And I will see you next week. Thank you.